What's going on, guys? In today's video, I just wanted to make a quick one, just sort of ranting about the glyphs and the glyph management system, because, well, today's been one of those days that I've been on the game for a while. I've been kind of cranking through getting rid of some of the bad ones because of the constant overflow problem, and I just wanted to make a quick video out there just venting, because there's not a lot else to talk about. So, if you're not interested, totally get it, but man, this glyph system definitely needs some quality of life features added ASAP. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about. All right, guys. So, like I mentioned, not a whole lot going on in the realm of Lord of the Rings: Heroes of Middle-earth. I got some video ideas in the pipeline, so we're gonna go ahead and start kind of making those. Especially next week, I got a lot more time. I've been working on some work projects over the last couple of weeks, but a lot of it wrapped up on Friday and early into next week. So that should open up a little bit more bandwidth on my end to be able to have some flexibility during the day to kind of spend a little bit more time creating some videos, and put a little more, like, you know, effort into them. Like, I like to do some more infographic type stuff, especially I made that Harajan video the other day, and in that video I ended up putting some quick screenshots from LotR.gg just to sort of reference some of the skills, since I didn't click into the character and each of their abilities. But I did want to like create some infographics. I think they'd be kind of nice to have them on screen while I'm talking about the character. And shout out to Quantum, he makes some fantastic infographics. Probably something along the lines of what he does, but obviously not a copy paste of his stuff. You know, he puts a lot of effort into that work, so I don't want to just steal his content. But if anyone is interested in some really useful kind of handy dandy baseball cards, is the term he uses, you know, just like a very simple everything you need to know of a character, go to his Discord. Absolutely fantastic stuff. He's probably one of the best in our game on making that type of content. So anyways, this video is mostly just to go ahead and make a little bit of a rant sesh. I actually watched AP Gain's video. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, but he made a kind of call out showcasing his inbox in the game and all the overflow glyphs that he has, and kind of a really good idea that he called out, which is like, if you could just have a sell button in your inbox on all of those overflows, because if you click claim and your glyph is completely full, there's nothing you can do besides it to tell you that your glyphs are completely full, and you have to then go into your glyphs elsewhere and start kind of deleting them. Or if you don't, I don't know, I forget the exact timer on it, I think it's 1 day, they'll just go off into, you know, thin air and never ever be in your account. And so even if you were to just auto sell them from your inbox and just get the gold back, it does take obviously the risk reward factor that it could be an awesome rolled glyph and you would never know. But honestly, at this point, I would probably take that, because we've all probably starting to hit that glyph threshold, which is around what, almost 900, I think, is the cap you can have in this game. And I've kind of hit that threshold here for a bit now. And so today I spent a solid amount of time kind of trimming through here to stop hitting that cap. So you can see I've actually pretty much have gone through almost 300 glyphs that I've manually deleted. Still a ton in here that are like undiscovered level 1s. Most of my glyphs at this point, I generally try to avoid doing any sims in the campaign modes that include a glyph, even if it's the same cost. You get, you know, making it up, you get turquoise, and you could do a turquoise run that only has turquoise along with like the standard other stuff, so character XP, gold, and account XP. But then there could be like the same cost, like 8 energy, that gives you all the same stuff plus a glyph. I won't even do that one, because even though like getting glyphs is value, I don't need more glyphs because they become a problem. And the only glyphs I'm buying from the store, like when they show up, you know, a few times a day, is like generally gonna be like Bloodlust, Armor Piercer, Last Stand, and Lembas. Probably anything else at this point I'm just gonna skip, because I don't have, like, I can't be bothered to do this again. And I didn't even spend a ridiculous amount of time going through this. I really just like, it's too many steps. I literally would open one of these up, I would go to the upgrade screen, so we're already 2 clicks. I'd look at the rolls, so obviously as you can see, this one's like a pretty good roll. Like, I should upgrade this further because it probably would work on a character pretty well, given it has more than 50% across all 4 of the rolls, right? Like of the standard initial kind of findings of the glyph. So this is a really good one. So this is worth considering holding on to if it ever becomes meta to have focus speed, block mitigation, and crit damage. Like, maybe not, but focus speed and crit damage, those are 3 really good rolls on some characters that would want to see that. So this was one like I wouldn't just trash because it's a very well like initial revealed glyph. And so I kind of did this process on a lot of the glyphs, but it is brutal, man. Like the amount of time it takes to open up each individual screen, and as far as I know, there's no better way to do it. Like to sell a glyph, you still have to do a similar process even to just go in and sell, right? Like you still have to go in here and then you have to sell it. And then I didn't even go through to start upgrading a lot of these ones that I have just to kind of see what the real is, because I don't want to spend the gold and the time. I mean, I probably spent over an hour, if not more, maybe even closer to 2 hours in this game on going through the glyphs that I did just to create the 300 space, so I have some time and stop getting spammed in my inbox on the overflow glyphs, because it's just a nuisance. And it's like I'd rather get the overflow message in the sell function and just get rid of it on the spot than have to do this again in a couple of weeks, because I'm probably not gonna get a glyph, reveal the glyph, sell the glyph on the spot. Like probably the best way to manage your entire glyph system would be to do that, so you sort of get like everything that's great on your account is sort of like currently on your account. Maybe get this down to like 200 or so glyphs that are like pretty top notch, or less depending, or more depending on how many you have. And then every time you get a new glyph, you just like immediately go see what it is and then decide, do you keep it or do you cut it, right? And that would maintain your glyphs probably for the long term until there's like a better quality of life system and a way to doing it. But as of right now, there's not, and I don't really foresee me going to that level of deciding if glyphs I've got on the spot are worth keeping or not. But yeah, I mean, I know they mentioned when this came out that they were going to add some additional features. We've already discussed this on this channel, and most other content creators have discussed the lack of kind of glyph management options that exist in the game. But man, I gotta be honest, even though the filtering would be fantastic to be able to find glyphs you want to give to characters, that I can kind of deal with, because like just kind of clicking through on this screen and just kind of gandering at sort of that bottom screen over here and looking to see like what is it that I want, and just kind of like taking a quick eye glance of like, okay, I want crit chance, crit damage, damage. Okay, great. Let me just kind of click through these. And you can sort it by one of, but like just for the sake of this, like, oh, this is pretty good. Like damage and crit chance. Okay, yeah, like I want that one. Like that's not that bad of a system, because even though it's kind of annoying to have to like find that primary that's important and then finding the secondaries that sort of align with the primaries, whatever, that's like a few extra seconds because there's not like a filtering option to do that, which will come eventually. The selling is just brutal, like selling and or deciding if it's worth selling, because it doesn't, like, even if they added like a way to see like the bar here, right, like a way to just have like, because like sure, if you start to remember a lot of them, it helps. Like if speed, I think speed, the most you can have is up to 1% or 1.5, right? So this is like an absolute terrible roll for speed. So like if you can remember in your head like 1.5 on speed, 1.5 on damage, 1 on resistance, etc., then you kind of could look at this and be like, oh, like I know damage caps at 1.5. This rolled a 1.39. Okay, that's pretty good. It's almost capped, right? Like you would kind of know that these two are like closer to cap. And then like speed now like 0.5 to 1.5. Like I know speed is a terrible roll, so I already know like in my mind like, okay, this is like really close to the left side of the bar. Damage is really close to the right. Crit chance is really close to the right. You know what I mean? Like sure, that kind of helps if you didn't want to have to open up each individual glyph to decide like, is it worth keeping or cutting, like looking at it from this screen to start at. But there's no way around it after the fact. Like you're going to have to go into it regardless and decide to keep it or sell it, because you got to go here and click the button anyways. It's an absolute drag, man. It really is. It's brutal. So anyways, I kind of wanted to bitch about that because I've been dealing with it today. And because I'm kind of doing some like glyph changes on some of my characters and, kind of upgrading some of them, just trying to like improve my raids for this week. And so I kind of spent a little bit of time like min-maxing these a little bit more than I've generally haven't since realistically the release of the glyphs. So, today I kind of spent some time on my computer doing it, and it's been brutal. So anyways, just kind of a rant sesh because, it's annoying. I got the game open and I wanted to bitch about it and let you guys know my pain and probably the pain you're all dealing with. So anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully next week we get some actual news, because we're about to hit February and we're going to miss the entire month of January. We don't even know what the February calendar looks like. We don't apparently getting a single marquee character for all of January. We're not getting nothing. So anyways, hopefully next week early on we get something from CG. But anyways, see you in the next one. Bye.